गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. So today we are just going to see a little bit of overview of the 7th, 8th and 9th chapter, so we know why we are getting into the 10th chapter. See, in the 6th chapter the Lord said meditate. Meditate for what purpose? What was the purpose for meditation? To know yourself, to know the divine. That is why meditate. Not to attain anything in this world, not to purify, only for one purpose. Uddharet atmana atmanam natmanam avasadhayet. Raise yourself, in yourself, by yourself, to reach the, to be the, not reach, to be the self. So what should be our focus? And what should be our focus?
Find out who we are.
If our focus...
And then merge into the Lord.
But explain a little bit more when you say to find out who we are. How will you do that?
By meditation.
But in meditation something has to happen, isn't it? Our understanding of meditation is what? To keep looking at the thoughts, and then we say we get out of the meditation that it is too much to handle, or we take a mantra and we start chanting, isn't it?
Yes.
So what is meditation? Is that meditation? Purifying the mind is meditation. Taking Om or any other mantra, is that meditation?
Meditation can be where you are available for a particular thing, like rather than praying, meditation is where you're not asking for anything, you're making yourself available, free of all thought.
To whom?
Available to the divine.
Okay, at a relative self, what he said, what you say is correct. From a relative point of view, meditation is focusing on something to the exclusion of everything else, isn't it? That leads to Savikalpa Samadhi and Nirvikalpa Samadhi. But what is true meditation?
Recognize that self is all pervading.
Not how will you recognize?
With the grace. With the grace it will be revealed.
By the grace it will be revealed. So not even recognize.
To make yourself available.
Be the self. That is the only recognition. If at all it can be called as recognition. Because I can recognize something else other than me.
Sure.
Isn't it? So even though Lord has given this indication, but then the student is still, give me more clarity, give me more tips. And then the Lord said, okay, I'll give it to you. That's how the the 7th chapter began, and in the 7th chapter the Lord that this intellect which has become convinced that it must meditate, but it has not reached the conclusion yet. Conclusion of what is the conclusion that the intellect is searching for in life?
Be with
Because we all have an
Be
intellect.
happy.
To be happy. Where does it find that happiness on a daily basis?
He's looking it outside.
in the
He's
sleep,
looking at it outside.
deep
No,
sleep.
but where does he? But he never gets it in the outside.
In the
So
deep
where
sleep.
does he get it?
Mind.
In the mind.
Deep sleep.
In deep sleep. Every day in deep sleep it becomes happy because it vanishes. It merges itself.
Yeah,
What do
this
you
is
mean by
separate.
he's happy? We don't recognize anything in the deep sleep.
You may not, but when you wake up you say I had a wonderful, because if you don't have a sleep you will not be functional next day. You may be one day you may be functional, but 2 days you don't sleep, see what will happen to you.
Who is getting that happiness? The
That-
self or me?
Conscious.
That you find out. That you find out.
Self and you are yours.
Self and me are one and the same. We are not talking about the husband, we are not talking about the father, we are not talking about the brother, we are not talking about the son, if that is your consideration of me. We are not talking about the one who says, I am this body, I am this breast, I am this mind, I am this intellect. We are not even talking about that fellow. We are talking about that one who is supporting, who knows that the body is there, the mind is there, the breath is there, the intellect is there, the concepts are there, the ideas are there, the good and the bad thoughts are there, the hunger and thirst is there. The one who knows that the waker, dreamer and deep sleeper come and go. Don't you know that on a daily basis? You know that. If that fellow is there, then he must be other than the waker, dreamer and deep sleeper. He must be other than the body, breath, mind, intellect. He must be other than the father, brother, husband or son.
Son.
He has to be someone else. So who is this? To get to that point, there are many intellectual challenges that you will come across, which the intellect will throw out because the things have not been sorted out. Whenever you begin a project, always obstacles, challenges come in your life. And when those challenges come, you have to work through them. You have to overcome. You have to have, if you get too stressed out, there will be no solution possible. You have to take a step back. Be cool, be relaxed. You are afraid, your mind is still in a query where will it be successful, will it not be successful? What is it that I can do to make it successful? You are thinking in all this way. But if you keep thinking too much, you will stress out. You will burn yourself out. Then you take a step back and you say, okay, let me see, where am I going wrong? How better I can do this? And you are facing this every day in your job. Same thing one faces it on the seat of meditation also. In their life journey, every day we are faced with these questions. Every day. And the solution will only come spontaneously when the intellect is convinced. It is very easy in this world that if someone says water is equal to H2O, it is a mixture of two gases, 2 molecules of hydrogen and 1 molecule of oxygen. You may accept because teacher is saying, but mere theory is not going to satisfy you. Is it? So when we were in school, we had to do the experiment and see how these two gases come together and the water vapors are formed. Right? So people go around collecting experiences because knowing America is there is not enough. Knowing Europe is a beautiful medieval, buildings are there, it's not enough. Knowing the gondola on the waterways of Venice, knowing theoretically is not enough. you want to go and experience it yourself. Or you want proof. You want to actually know that it is not a make-believe idea of someone that is being presented to me, it is true. Even if you have not gone there, to become convinced, you need enough data. Maybe from checking it out on the websites, Googling it, talking to people who have been there, seeing the photographs. Maybe photographs can be also doctored, watching the videos, watching the movies. So many different things. Calling people in that city, maybe you make friends with someone, eventually find, is it really true that there are gondolas on the waterways of Venice? Just mere theory is not enough for human intellect. It can grab, it can fascinate you. It can fascinate you, but it will not last. Similarly, when from chapters 2 till chapter 6, Krishna has given so many theories, theory of karma, theory of renunciation of karma, and then the yoga of meditation. It is all theory. Arjuna has not done it yet. He is standing in front of him. But he can practice it even while standing in front of him, because it's a disposition that is required. But to bring that about, he is not convinced yet, because there are still many unanswered questions in his mind and intellect. There are many loose ends. And seeing that, the Lord in the 7th chapter revealed, because Arjuna was so intently, so with devotion and focus, was listening to the Lord, that the Lord in this 7th chapter gives him both the theory of as to what the reality is that he should be contemplating upon, and the techniques, methodologies in order to realize. And in this way, it's called Gyana Vigyana Yoga. Gyan Vigyan means what? Gyan means the reality, the truth. What is Vigyan? So you can see word Gyan, in front of it V is added, and then the Vigyan. Vigyan means the science of its application in life. The knowledge, what is knowledge? Knowledge not at the intellectual level, the knowledge which is the truth. And how do you apply it in your life? How do you apply who you are essentially in your life? That is Gyan Vigyan Yoga. See? And towards this, in the first verse, the Maya Sakta Manapartha Yogam Yunjana Madashraya Asanchayam Samagram Mam Yatha Jnasyasi Tachrunu. In meditation, an unprepared intellect is always looking for some support. And always looking. In daily life, you are always looking for some support. In your friendship, you are looking for some support. In family, you are looking for some support. In car, you will not drive the car without holding the steering wheel. You are looking for the support. When you are driving the car, you are looking for support. The two white lines on both sides of your car. Everywhere you are looking for support. And why we are looking for support? Because we are not convinced. The intellect has not become convinced as to who we essentially are. This is the problem. It's not a problem. It is an unfinished job. It is a job which we need to finish once we are born. Only in the human birth you can finish this job. And here the Lord, as a result, he says that when a teacher, when a student has meditated, he has control. Because remember, in the 6th chapter, the student was told, control your senses, control your mind, contemplate in the self, by the self, for the self. He has not realized the self, but he has done all that, and as a result, a heightened state of awareness is there, and heightened state of purity is there. Just like after sleeping the whole night, a freshness is there in you in the morning. Similarly, after meditation also, if you are practicing it, you will feel a sense of freshness. That the mind is free, the mind is empty. In that mind, the Lord is now dropping seeds of wisdom. Is as to whatever the loose ends are, in order to tie them up, he is putting these seeds of contemplation. And what are they? He says, O Arjuna, with Maya Sakta Mana Partha, with mind solely attached to me, O Partha, take refuge in me, and practicing the yoga of meditation, how you will know me fully without any more doubt. To that, please listen. How you can meditate on the reality, how you can meditate on the Lord. We'll not discuss that too much, but the Lord or the reality or the self, it's one and the same. So, here Krishna, yes, the doubt in Arjuna is there. How come the Lord is saying that I am the you meditate on me? Is he on an ego trip or what? Is Krishna on an ego trip? Many people ask us that. That he is asking. He is also having 2 arms and 2 legs, and he is also hungry. He also gets up in the morning. He also sleeps at night. What an ego that you meditate on me. But you will see even today in our lifetime, there are Mahatmas, great masters who ask, if the devotee is not able to have enough faith in anything else, then he is approaching a teacher. The teacher says, okay, you love me? Yes, Swamiji. Okay, you contemplate on me. See? Today only someone's phone came, just when I was in the room. He said, Swamiji, calling from Bombay. I said, fantastic, what are you doing? No, we are gone there on holidays. Okay. Oh, I am with my mother. I said, fantastic. Suddenly I remembered, why is he telling me, why is with my mother? No, Swamiji, I needed to Happy New Year, this, that. Mother also wants to say Happy New Year. I said, fantastic. Hare Om, Auntie, Happy New Year, this, that. And then he dropped the line, I am meeting my mother after 1992. Then suddenly the whole memory came back, that for some misunderstanding, he went away and he has not talked to his mother since 1992. And before, last few months ago somewhere, he must have talked to me. I can't even remember the conversation. He must have talked. I said, forgive and forget, man. There's no point going to the grave with all this, load, this baggage. Clear it up. Forgive and forget. Life is about love and sacrifice. Life is not about holding grudge against someone. And Prabhu ki kripa, he did. And he is so happy. I said, now you spoil her. And I told his mother, Auntie, next time he does anything like this, you call me. I'll give him a bashing here. He says, yeah, Swamiji, I'll do that. You see? So, in this life, when we move around, when we are born, the only purpose we have come is to realize. We have not become convinced of that yet. We are not seeing a clear path in front of us. We are only seeing at the distractions. We are only looking at the distractions. Why we are looking at the distractions? Because our attention while moving around in this world is on the interactions with the world. I'm not talking about what interaction. Anything. Right now, this is an interaction going on. Driving, that is an interaction going on. Going to bed, the interaction is with the bed, whether the mattress is comfortable or not comfortable, whether the duna is comfortable or not comfortable, whether the temperature in the room is comfortable or not. Our attention is only on the interactions. Our attention is not on the one who knows that these interactions are taking place at the level of mind. This is where we go wrong. Instead of coming to the source, coming to be who we are, our attention is only on the extroverted. See? So in order, and now this student, this seeker has somehow come to the satsang. Here also we listen to the satsang, but while we are listening to satsang, many times our mind becomes absolutely silent because the thoughts sometimes are so sublime that our mind transcends everything. After the class, we don't want to be disturbed by anyone, so we quickly run away. Happens, no? Sometimes. Because we don't want to be disturbed. We don't want to be asked the question on our laptop and phone and again and again. How many times? Why can't you leave us alone after satsang? It gets disturbed. It gets agitated after. Because you are enjoying. Naturally, without having practiced meditation, you have been doing open-eyed meditation while sitting in the class. When you look at a beautiful rainbow, when you look at a beautiful scenery, when you look at the waves on the ocean, and you are sitting there with a cup of tea, you are in meditation. See? But in this mind can fall back till the mind is not completely convinced. Till it is completely convinced of what? The intellect must become completely convinced as to what its essential nature is. You are totally convinced that you are a product of this mother and father, isn't it? You are totally convinced that this child is mine only, not anyone else's. Are you convinced to that? You are convinced that you have a mind even though you have never seen it. You are convinced that you have eyes, you have never seen the eyes. You are convinced that you are this body. There is no question. That thought also doesn't arouse in your body, in your mind, that you are not the body. To this extent of conviction, are you convinced that you are of the nature of divine? Ask yourself, don't answer. Ask yourself, are you convinced in your mind and intellect to that extent as to your true nature? Or are you still lost in I am the body, I am the thinker, I am the decision maker, or not even that, I am the seeker? That is at the body level, mind level. But go even further, I am the father, I am the daughter, I am the sister, I am the brother. That is 3 levels down. See? To convince this mind so that no more doubts ever come into the mind of the seeker, this 7th chapter begins. Until and unless the intellect does not get exposed to the truth, to the Lord, to the divinity, till then it will not get convinced. See, 100% conviction is equal to 0% of doubt. 99% conviction, 1% doubt is there. 50% conviction, 50% doubt is there. We need to get 100% convinced. See? And for that, a process is there. You cannot just take a book and get convinced. You cannot. There are many factors which go into bringing about that conviction. your belief, your faith, your experience, the data, the technique. Have you practiced it or not? You just knowing theoretically that the chocolate is wonderful to taste, it is not going to bring you a conviction about chocolate until and unless you don't taste it, isn't it? Exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. But when will your action reciprocate the conviction? When you have become convinced that in my lifetime I must taste one chocolate at least. I have heard so much about chocolate from everyone. They are all raving about it. I must taste once. I have been saying I don't like chocolate, but I have never tasted it, so how can I say I like it or I don't like it? I have got no experience. Oh, they say it is bad for health. Taste and find out. See? Once you are convinced, then all your actions will be geared to get that chocolate. Similarly, once you are convinced of this reality, then all your thinking process, by default, it will keep moving in the direction of the reality. But what is that reality? You are telling me to meditate on the self. What is that self? What is that Paramatma? What is that Atma? What is that consciousness that you are asking me to meditate? Arjuna is still in a objective mode of contemplation. He is not subjective yet. See? Still he is thinking in duality. He will go till it will take much more time for him to go beyond it. But the Lord, out of His own grace, keeps dropping pointers again and again, and that is the work of the teacher. He knows the student is already that which he is seeking, what he is seeking, and he has to mold his mind, direct his mind, guide his mind to that which he already is. And he knows in that process, this fellow is going to ask so many questions, this fellow is going to doubt my words, this fellow is not, will create arguments for unnecessary arguments, till he is not convinced. And the teacher is patient, isn't it? You do the same thing with your children? Patience. So here the Lord says, if you want to attain that reality, the first thing you do is take my support. Offer your mind to me. Offer your mind to me. Maya manasakta. Now, what is that? Maya, Maya sakta manah partha yogam yunjan madashraya. So he says that you bring your mind to be solely focused on me. Take my support, take my refuge. Then it is possible. Then I'll make sure that it goes beyond everything else. That knowledge will come. And practicing, O Partha, take refuge in me. And practicing this yoga of meditation, you will know me fully. Meaning, you will know the truth fully. You will know the Lord fully. You will know the Paramatma fully. We take the support of the mantras, we take the support of the breath, we take the support of Om. The Lord is saying here, you attach your mind to me. You said that I am your devotee and I am your disciple, isn't it? Karpanya dosho pahata swabha prachhami tvam dharma sammudha cheda yat shreya syat nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. You only told me that I am your devotee and I am your disciple because you don't know what is right and wrong. You can't come to a conclusion. Now, because you said that, now I am giving you a focus focus on me. And in this manner, the Lord, and what does He say? I shall give you the entire knowledge, both speculative and practical, having known which there will be nothing more to be known. It comes only by grace, we know that. But we are incapable at this moment to contemplate on that abstract. The reality that I am, it doesn't have a form. The reality that I essentially am, it doesn't have we call it name reality, but it is much that and much more. We are so, our intellect is so used to dimensions, to parameters, to form. But this reality that I am, it has got no dimensions, it has got no parameters, it has got no date of birth, it has no date of expiry. How do I focus on something which does not have a form? On something which is beyond the name? Means it is beyond the thinking process. How do I focus on something like that? Have you ever seen sleep? I'm coming back to comparing the two. Have you ever seen sleep?
No.
Yet you contemplate on sleep, you desire sleep, you want to surrender to sleep, you want to be sucked in by sleep. You have never known what sleep is. Only when you wake up you know, Arey, I was in a gaga land. There were no thoughts. Isn't it? But while in sleep we don't know that. Yet without knowing, still we are ready to surrender ourselves to that state. So that capacity and capability to surrender is there in us. The Lord is saying, surrender to me, the conscious principle, the Lord, the Ishvara. And in this way, here he adds to it that Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschid, what is that? Kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tattvataha. That among thousands of men, one perhaps strives for perfection, and among those who strive, one perhaps knows me in my pure essence. Many people you can see around the world, India has become the locus where, or loci for all the people of the world. Go to Tiruvannamalai, they seek so many masters, they meditate. And all over the world there are so many different places. But more so in India, we don't know why. Even in Australia there are so many satsangs going on, so many masters coming here. People, this is one class, there must be Bible class, there must be another. So many classes are going on. People are meditating. They go to Vipassana course, they go for meditation courses. Everyone is seeking. But among these thousands of people and millions of people who are seeking, only a handful of them will ever come to know. Because it's a razor's edge path. You can burn yourself, you can cut yourself. Until and unless objectification is not given away. Until the mind and intellect don't blossom with fullness, without any doubt. Till then it will not happen. Realization has to happen. And the Lord is saying here that I will give you such are very rare people. The fact that we are coming to study the scriptures itself is rare. But those who come to know, those who pursue it, they are rare, and those who come to know it are even rarer. And in this way, the Lord is saying, please understand that the two Prakritis are the womb of all beings. I am the origin and the dissolution of the whole universe. Beyond me, O Dhananjaya, O Arjuna, there is nothing. All this is strung in me or on me as a row of pearls upon a thread. So this is a Manigana Iva. This verse that is very, very famous verse is being told here. And Matta parataram nanyata kinchidasti dhananjaya mahi sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. The Lord is saying that the whole universe with all its various names and forms, they cannot be outside of the reality. They cannot be outside of the consciousness. Then where are they? They are strung in the consciousness. How they are strung in the consciousness? Just like gold beads are strung in a chain made of gold. So the bead is also gold and the chain is also gold. Gold is the reality. Chain is not the reality, beads are not the reality. So similarly, the entire creation is strung in me, the Lord is saying, like the pearls or the beads. And in having told that, he indicates the supreme through the next verse. He says, I am the, because he's creating an environment for the mind of Arjuna, he says, I am the sipidity in the water, I am the heat in the sun, I am the radiance in the moon, I am the Om in all the Vedas, I am the sound in space, I am the manhood in men. And in this way, he is indicating as to how he is present in the various aspects of the universe. Naturally, anyone who says, if someone is standing in front of you and says, I am the wetness in the water, I am the heat in the sun, I am the brilliance in the moon, I am the manhood in man, and you are telling, Abhay, come down from your high horse. What do you think you are talking about? A common man would respond that way. You'll get up and walk out because I think I came to a wrong place. But understand, we are in the 7th chapter. Lot of preparation has taken place in order for 7th chapter to begin. So we are not talking to a absolutely raw mind. We are not talking to a raw mind. We are talking to a mind who has practiced karma yoga, who has practiced, given up. He has renounced everything in life. He has understood the meaning of renunciation. And as a result of renunciation, and why he has renounced? Because he understood that this whole world is a game of, is a play of opposite, and it's going on and it's got nothing to do with me. Then what should I do? Then the 6th chapter began where he was told, okay, you meditate then. What should I meditate upon? There is nothing here, mind is empty. No, you will go to sleep otherwise. We must continue meditation. There it was told, meditate on Om. What will Om do? It will keep purifying the subtler, mind, the subconscious mind. It will keep purifying. First the gross, then the subtle. It will keep purifying. But as the mind keeps purifying, your capacity to gain knowledge, your capacity to hold knowledge, your capacity to receive knowledge also increases. The mind which is already full, the Buddhist saying is, Zen saying is there, that in a full cup no more tea can be poured. So if you are already full of thoughts and confusion, no new knowledge can go. You will not, even though it is plentifully available, you will not be able to receive it. But when the mind is empty, a new faculty gets developed in such a mind to appreciate when subtle thoughts are presented, divine thoughts are presented, intellectual, contemplative, logical thoughts are presented, then because of that empty mind, because of that there is no stress, there is no agitation, there is no argument within your mind, because of the slower thought flow, a new faculty. And that is the intuitive ability to see beyond the word that your mind is receiving. We can only communicate through words. But what is being indicated is not the word, it is something beyond the word. And that ability, that I can catch, I can see what you are saying, let me sit with it for some time. Let me contemplate on it. But if you had given the same thought in the first chapter, Arjuna would have walked away from there. I don't know which fool I have come to. So, he says, I am the Om in all the Vedas, the sound in space, the manhood in man. And in this way, the Lord says, I am the fragrance in the earth, I am the heat in the fire, the life I am in all beings, and in ascetics, austerity am I. So every thing, every being in this creation has a specificity, has some specific, is unique. Unique, water is unique because of its wetness, isn't it? Ascetic is unique because of his ability to do tapasya, to do penance. The sun is unique because it has heat and light. Vedas are unique because without any, without any ambiguity, they take you to they indicate you the truth. And what is that which is indicating you the truth? All words, they tell you one thing. Contemplate on Om, chant Om, meditate on Om, and the Om will deliver you at the footsteps or the doorsteps of the reality. Here the Lord is saying, I am beyond the Vedas. He says, I am the Om. I am the potential. I am the Shakti. The essence of the entire Vedas is what? Om. If today all the texts of Vedas get vanished, Om remains, all the Vedas can come back. And the Lord is saying, I am that Om. It's a great statement to make. But one must be able to, you and me cannot make that statement. If we make it right now, it will be only an intellectual appreciation because we have understood, yeah, I am not other than that. But it is not our direct experience yet. Why? Because the importance to the world is still paramount in our mind. We are convinced that the world is true. We are convinced that the body is true. We are convinced that the mind is true. Am I losing a plot here? If I meditate and I think about the Lord, then I will realize that I am not the mind and this world is not real. Then what's the purpose of life? Then this question will not arise in your mind. This question will arise only as long as you are in the world. Once you realize, once you become a devotee, does this question arise? All about the responsibilities, who is dead, who is living, who is in pain, who has diabetes, who has this, how much money you have to earn, how many loans you have to pay. Do you think about all these things when you are sleeping? Zero. So you know how to live 8-9 hours in a day without thinking of anything. You know, imagine living like that 24 hours a day and being available, being awake. It will be fantastic. And yet everything will take place in life as it's supposed to. This assurance the Lord is giving. Come to know yourself, Arjuna. I am the strength in the strong, devoid of desire and attachment. I am desire unopposed to dharma in all beings. So I am the desire unopposed to dharma. So as long as you have a desire which is righteous, the Lord will support. And what is the righteous most desire? to come to know yourself. But to do the benefit of the society, to do charity, to do tapasya, to do yoga, to do pranayama, to come up with a project by which so many beings on this planet can be benefited, these are all. And if you have a vision and you focus, you put attention, you put your, resources towards it, Lord will help. He will help. But you should be ready to pay the cost, ready to pay the price. You should be ready to pay the price. And in this way, the Lord now is indicating his relationship to the world. He says, Ye chaiva satvika bhava raja rajasastamasaschaye matta eveti tan vidhi na tvaham teshu te mayi. He says, and whatever modes there are pertaining to sattva, rajas or tamas, know them all to proceed from me alone, yet I am not in them, they are in me. So the Lord is saying, my potentiality alone expresses as sattva, rajas, tamas, and because you see sattva, rajas, tamas expressing, meaning purity, dynamism and inertia expressing in life, does not mean they are in me. They express because of me, but they are not in me and I am not in them. See? This you apply subjectively also. That where is sattva, rajas, tamas? Where is the experience of purity, dynamism and inertia? Where is it?
In the mind.
In the mind, right? So come to this conclusion, if you take parallels, that the mind is there, it is functioning of its own accord, the thoughts come of their own accord, the emotions come of their own accord, the waking comes of its own accord, the dream comes of its own accord, the deep sleep comes of its own accord on a daily basis. They are only because I am a living being. I am not in them, they continue. I am independent of them. Just like the Lord is taking the position at the totality level, you also take that position and come to realize this is one of the most important breakthroughs in life. The day you come to know, come to experience, come to realize that you are not the mind. More importantly than the mind, the day you realize you are not the body. The day it clicks that you are not the body, something will shift inside of you. Then bloody who am I? It will not leave you. And the more you think about who am I, to that extent the mind will dissolve itself. The fact that we find ourselves still caught up is because the body identification is not gone yet. And if you find you don't want to, you cannot knowingly give a body identification. It has to happen. And it happens at a critical point where your mind is focused and so much in love with what it is thinking. Your mind is every night, tonight also, it will be in love with the sleep. And somewhere along that line, your body identification will drop. Before you sleep also. The body will move here, there, everywhere, but you are not identified with it. In spite of the pain, in spite of the discomfort, your attention is on the sleep. And you will surrender to the sleep. In order for sleep to happen, body disidentification is necessary. It's a prerequisite. Only then the mind will be able to surrender. Without body disidentification, mind will not surrender. Because with body identification comes, then you will find cause. What is this disturbance due to at the level of body, heat, and so all excuses will be there. Exactly the same way. This is every day you are experiencing. Exactly the same way you put it towards the divinity. You think of the divinity to the exclusion of everything else. Maya sakta mana partha. Get attached to the divinity, the reality. Call it Lord, call it consciousness, call it the essence, whatever. But get attached to it so that your mind is thinking. Let it grab your imagination. Let it devour your mind. And as you are applying yourself again and again, somewhere along the way, the body identification will drop. Sometimes when we are singing bhajans, you are so intoxicated in the bhajan that you forget that you are where you are. Where are you? Are you singing too loudly or too slowly? Are there people watching? And suddenly you become aware, oh, I think I was chanting too loudly. Isn't it? This happens to me while driving. I forget what speed I am going on.
Unfortunately, camera doesn't forget.
It doesn't. Got a ticket of 372. But don't forget what we are on. Don't go into camera. What we are on. Huh? What topic we are talking. How it is unfolding. So, instead of complaining to yourself in your mind, instead of feeling dejected in your mind that I am not progressing, I am not improving, meditation is not happening, this, that. See why, maybe you are still not having 100% faith in the goal that you are pursuing. Maybe you are not convinced enough. Maybe you are not practicing enough. Maybe you are not remembering the divine enough times during the day so that that momentum is generated. Your momentum in the worldly parlance, it is generated. Every day you get up, every activity is directed by going to survive in this world. Money, relationship, responsibilities, duties, etc., etc., etc. Food, clothes, the school fees, home loan, etc. And no, we are not saying drop that. But while doing that, is your attention on the divine? That will go on anyway. Let every activity in your daily life be dictated by the thought of the divine. So the Lord is saying here that there are people in the world who do not know me because they are deluded by the by the potency of sattva, rajas, tamas, the purity, the dynamism and the inertia. And this cycle is going on at a larger scale. What is purity, inertia and dynamism? Waker, dreamer and deep sleeper. Why waker is there? Because the waking world is there. Why dreamer is there? Because the dream world is there. Why the deep sleeper is there? Because no world is there. And do you create them? They come by themselves, they go by themselves. And unnecessarily you get miserable. Because we are attached to them. The Lord is saying, get attached to me. And those people who are attached to waker, dreamer and deep sleeper, or even fall down, they are attached to the world, they are attached to the purity in the world, that I must do charity, I must do this, I must do that, or dynamism, I need to do such big projects, or do that, or do this. Such people, Lord says, can never come to know me. As long as your mind is under the clutches of sattva, rajas, tamas, as long as the mind is thinking about purity, oh, I am not pure enough to know the truth, you cannot come to know the truth. Yet, activity, till you don't know the truth, you have to work towards purifying the mind. And we are not saying focus Not every day you when you go to the gym, oh I did 5 push-ups, I did this, I did that, and next day, oh I'm going to do 10 push-ups and 10 punches, exercise. You're not keeping a data. Because keeping that data is increasing your body consciousness. Here, you are just falling in love with the divine thing, that's all. And purity will automatically come about. And with that purity will come the ability to transcend. So here the Lord is saying, those who are under the clutches of these 3 potencies, they can never come to me. Why? Because I am the master of these 3 potencies. I am the master of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. The Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, they express because of me, but I am not because of them. They, from the worldly point of view, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas means the world. From worldly point of view, we say, we are in the Lord, we can understand this. We say the waves are in the water, but ask the water, he says, what is wave? I don't know. Only I am. So similarly, the Lord says, I only am. Because Lord only knows himself. He does not know the variety of the universe. Even though he is functioning, he is seen to be there. This thing cannot, it's a conundrum. It has to work itself out. It will become self-evident. It cannot be logically worked out this way or that way. We can give you one example from this angle, one example from this angle, one example from that angle, but no example will be a complete answer in itself. This Sattva, Rajas, Tamas is like the 1 or 2 examples I'll give you how it is. It is like the mirage. It seems to be there, but you cannot drink the waters. Similarly, the world, which is born out of purity, dynamism and inertia, it seems to be there, but no interaction with it, no possession of it, no amount of thinking about it can ever satisfy you. Second example, it is the whole world of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas has come out of its source. How it has come out of its source? Like out of the spider web has come out. But the spider never gets caught in his own web. And what is our story? We have created our samsar, our family, our relations, our responsibility. We have only owned it, and then we get caught up in it. We say, I am this body, and then get caught up at the body level. Meaning, we dig our own grave. So, we need it. It necessitates a different way of looking at everything. But for that, our mind must be available. Then how to realize this Lord if it is impossible for those people who are at the mercy, who are enslaved by these 3 potencies? Then how to realize Him? How to realize the Lord? It is told in the 14th verse, it is told, Daivi Hesha Gunamahi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mame Vaye Prapadyante Maya Me Tam Tarantite. He says, indeed this divine illusion of mine constituted of the gunas is difficult to cross over. Those who devote themselves to me alone can come across this illusion. So by thinking about Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, by thinking about your duties, by thinking about your responsibilities, by thinking about purity, dynamism and inertia, you cannot, by thinking about the world, you cannot transcend the world. Then how can you transcend? By thinking about the one who is already transcended, the one who is permeating the whole world, yet is independent of the whole world. Thinking of Him. Either you think of Him as the self or you think of Him as the Lord. because he is the efficient cause of the whole world, and he is the material cause of the whole world. He has created the whole world out of himself, just like the water has created, or we use this word from here. We give water the position of cause and the waves and ocean as the effect. But ask the water, he says, I don't know what is ocean and I don't know what is waves. I only know myself because I am one without a second. That is called as efficient cause and material cause being one. We are all living in cause and effect, cause and effect. So here the Lord says the only way you can overcome the Trigunatmika Maya. Maya is the unmanifest, and Trigunatmika is the first expression of that Maya is Sattva Rajas Tamas. Threefold. And the only way to cross that is, just like the only way, once you become married, you become a husband and you become a wife. Where is husband and wife? It's only in your imagination, isn't it? Now, how to get rid of this imagination? How to get rid of this imagination? You have to think of freedom. And that freedom is divorce, isn't it? So now I find myself under the clutches of Maya. How do I get out of this Maya? I have to think of someone who is the cause of this. I think about the one, the ultimate one. And the Lord is giving this assurance. You think of me and me alone, I'll make you free from the Trigunatmika Maya. The evildoers, the deluded, the basest of men, deprived of discrimination by Maya and following the ways of the Asuras, they do not devote themselves to me. Why people are not able to think of the divine theme? Because Asuras means they are attached to the possessions, they are attached to the world. They are attached to the material, and that is why they are not able to contemplate and give enough energy of their mind to contemplate on the Lord. That is the only reason. And such fools will never realize. They may go to satsangs, but still they will not realize. So it requires a certain disposition. And each one of us in this universe, we have that capacity because we have that disposition to surrender, to sleep. So why is it so difficult to surrender to Lord? Why is it so difficult?
Because in the awakening stage.
No, you just work it out. Where you are going wrong in that process? What is the impediment in our surrender to the divine? It's very easy for us every night when we surrender to the sleep. Then why, if I sit for 15 minutes, half an hour, why am I not able to surrender to the divine? I'm free. I can take out half an hour, 1 hour every day. Then why in that 1 hour I am not able to surrender?
You are not free of sleep.
No, work it out. Each one will be fine. It's indicated the mental makeup in the beginning of this talk today. So in this way, the Lord is saying those evildoers, meaning evil are those people who are materialist in their attitude. They are seeking happiness through possession, happiness through control, and that can never happen. They are the evil ones, and it will be very difficult for them to even think of the Lord.
Swami, is it fair to say we cannot sleep, we can create the environment to go to sleep? So the same thing, we can only create an environment for His grace.
To flow, even though that grace is always flowing. Empty mind is possible all the time. But because of our addiction to doing, we create thoughts in our mind. Between every two thoughts there is emptiness, isn't it? So as many thoughts are there, that many empty mind is also there. See?
But with empty mind, we also say that empty mind is the devil's workshop.
No. Here we are conscious. We are conscious here. And our focus is not the empty mind. Our focus is the moment mind becomes the thought flow reduces in the mind. We are not talking about we have to make the mind empty. We are saying make the mind contemplate on the divine and let the divine make the mind empty. We are not saying that we have to make. If you make the mind empty, it will be a devil's workshop, because it is the individual who is putting efforts to make it empty, and he doesn't know afterwards where to focus. And you come out of that forced emptiness of the mind. The moment you come out, whatever is the first thought, the mind will all the energy of the mind will go to that thought. And if it is anger, you have never known anger like that. If it is love, you have never known love like that. If it is food, you will eat like you have never eaten before. It depends upon how much energy is generated in that empty mind. See? So we are not talking yoga, pranayama, focusing the mind. These are all artificial methods of emptying the mind. And they can act as just like we jump start a car. So they have their place. Till in that empty space that you have created in your mind, suddenly one day you realize, after falling down many times, that maybe I need some other source by which I can bring about this empty mind. This jump starting business is I've done enough. It's not bringing a lasting solution. It's not bringing a lasting solution. And that will only, this thought also will only come when you are keenly observing how this habit of yours of bringing the mind into an empty state is itself itself is a challenge, itself is an impediment in your unfoldment. Till then it will not. If I tell someone, start doing yoga, they will not do yoga. Start doing pranayam, they cannot do pranayam. They have to go through the process. So we are not there. What happens in yoga? Individuality remains intact. But here we are saying, we are offering our mind to contemplate on the divine theme, the Lord, and however He keeps us, it's His problem. If problems come, it's His will. Success comes, it's His will. Waking comes, it's His will. Dream comes, it's His will. Sleep comes, it's His will. See? Today someone came and she said, Swamiji, she made the appointment how many? Maybe two months ago. And she said, Swamiji, can I tell you something? I said, what? Anyway, she came, everything. I don't know how you came into my life, but I found, and I have been attending the classes for 7-8 years. I said, good. No, and she's then started expressing the gratitude because of the classes, how she has fallen back into herself. She was already on the way, but some fine tuning was required, and she says, it was just, now nothing is holding on to me. I am not holding on to anything. There are challenges, there are difficulties, there are still some unanswered questions, but I know as long as I contemplate on the divine, all this will get sorted out by itself. See? And then she says that one day, Swamiji, I knew you were my teacher. How do I know? These people tell me, I said, how? Now I'm waiting what is going to come out, what did I do, what did I say, what did she experience. Sometimes it's a surprise. She says, no, one day I was sleeping in the early years when I came to your class. I didn't know if you are my teacher or you're not my teacher, but one morning I got up and I saw a dark room in which I was there and I was crying, and you are standing in the doorway. And behind you there is light. This is her imagination. And you said, Joy, come, I'll set you free. And from that day, I knew that you are my teacher. It's her imagination, but that's how she has taken the support. She is convinced in her own mind that this is the right way to go. Not that she's attached to me in any way. To everyone, something or someone is getting revealed. If I go to this person, it will happen. It's a thought, isn't it? And you go to that person and answer comes sometimes. So, it's a mystic journey. So here, exactly the same way, the Lord is telling here, He is not making you dream. He says, forget about dreaming, waking, dream. You hold on to me. I'll make sure that you are free of everything. Now the different types of devotees are being told in the 7th chapter, and here it was told that there are 4 types of devotee, and they are the 16th verse. Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sakritanor jana Arjuna arto jigyasu arthartho jnani cha bharatarshava. There is the 4 types. One is the artha, jigyasu, artharthi, Gyani, and Arjuna, and and who are these 3 type of people? These are 4 type of people. They are the artha, they are the dissatisfied people in life. Jigyasu are the seekers. Artharthi are who are addicted to the wealth. And Gyani, those who are attached to wisdom, they want to know the truth. And in this way, one is the seeker of the truth, Jigyasu. But Jigyasu, seeker of truth, where? In the self, as the self, by the self, or in the world, through rituals, through this, through yoga, through pranayama, through going to pilgrimages, etc., etc. You both are seekers. But Gyani is the one who is seeking within. And in this way, the 4 types of devotees were told. And then it was told of them, the wise man ever steadfast with constant devotion to the one excels. For supremely dear am I to the wise, and he is dear to me. In the 7th chapter, it is told that the wise people are very dear to me. In the 9th chapter, it is told the devotees are very dear to me. So is the Lord a schizophrenic, sometimes making one statement and another time another statement? Is he taking us for a ride? No. Here he is talking from knowledge point of view, and in 9th chapter he is talking about it from devotion point of view. This only by reading yourself you will not come to know. For this Shankaracharya has written a commentary, Realized Master. Ramanujacharya has written Realized Master. Madhvacharya has written a Realized Master. Chinmayanandaji has written a Realized Master. Shivanandaji has written a Realized. So many different commentaries are there at different periods of time in time, and all of them are resonating the same thought, the same idea. See? Yes, reality can be known only by yourself, but make yourself ready so that you become available to yourself. And that is possible only through contemplating on the self, even though you don't know that it is there. Even though you don't know that it is there in a particular form or in a particular shape or in a particular, it's not an idea, it's not a conviction, it is not a form, it is not having a parameter, it is not having any conditioning, it is not having any limitation, it is beyond your imagination, it is beyond your intellectual acumen, it is beyond thoughts, meaning it is beyond your intellect. Yet you think about it, yet you contemplate on it. Why? Because so many people have done that and realized it. It is possible. So why do different seekers seek the same truth in a different ways? Artha, Jigyasu, Artharthi and Gyani. So here it is told, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnana Jnana Vanya 19th verse. Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. So he says, at the end of many births, an intelligent man takes refuge in me, realizing that all this is Vasudeva, the inner self. Unique is such a great man. And we see such great men. The Satya Sai Baba, at the age of 14-15, he started contemplating and he left everything. Take Ammachi, when she was born, when she was 6-7 years old, she used to sit in meditation on the side of the canal. And for hours she used to sit from childhood. Never went to school or anything. You take Shirdi Sai Baba, nobody knows from where he came into the village and he was seen to be meditating. The fact that we are getting exposed to this knowledge at this juncture of our life means Bahunam Janma Namante, means in your previous life you must have done something which has now brought you to this point. So now it's clicking in. If you had looked at my life when I was young, nobody would have imagined that I will become a sannyasi and I will be talking on this and so captivated by this thought, by reality. Forget it. The only reason we used to go to the temple was for the prasad. Forget God. Only prasad. See? And yet, a point came, but my sadhana went on. But a point came where whatever flushing had to take place, it had taken place. Our mind was totally devoted to the Lord. Before it was totally devoted that I have to purify myself. But from childhood only one thought was there. I must attain liberation in this lifetime. So, I must attain means I have to do. So, yoga, pranayama, kundalini, this, that. Fell many times. Then, Lord's name. And that is what brought me to the threshold of the Vedanta. And Vedanta freed the mind completely. Nothing to hold on to after that. But why did it not happen in childhood? Why it happened at a particular age? We have come to, even if we are appreciating this, it is only because we have gone through so many lives, worked it out, come to a conclusion. And who is a wise man? Who has come to the conclusion that everything in this universe is nothing but that one reality. That is why he is wise. If you know that everything is reality but not experiencing it, then you are not wise. Then you are intellectual. Wise is the one who is established in it. Then his actions reciprocate that conviction or that abidance. And in this way, does God fulfill our desires? Whatever form a devotee seeks to worship with faith, that faith of his I make firm in him. Meaning, if you contemplate on Shiva, you will go to Shivalok. If you contemplate on Jesus, you will go to heaven. If you contemplate on Indra, you will go to the Indian heaven. If you contemplate on Islam and you go on the terrorists, you will go to the Islamic heaven. If you contemplate on Brahmaji, you will go to the Satyalok. So wherever, whatever if you create an idea of divinity, and you see in this world, many people are praying to so many, some prays to the cross, some pray to Jesus, some pray to Mother Mary. See? Some pray only to the face of the Christ. Some pray only to the feet of the Lord. Some pray to the different forms of deities. So whatever your form that you are attached to, the Lord says, I fulfill your desire. So choose wisely. Choose wisely what you convince your mind with as to the divinity. And in this way, reinforced with that faith, he engages in its worship and from it gains his desires. Indeed, they are all dispensed by me. And majority of the people, why they are doing prayers to the Lord? So that my child can pass year 12 with good marks, that my child should get married, that I should get a lottery, that I should not be free of disease, that there is always some hook when you go to a temple or a church. It's never for the sake of the Lord. It's always something that we want out of him. Because our rule is, Lord, you are so much power and no desires, and I have no powers and all desires. We sign a MOU with each other. Your power and my desires. So, Satyanarayan Puja, home, housewarming ceremony, purification of the home, as if he is not everywhere. It's a contract that you are creating. The fruit gained by these men of little understanding is limited. The worshippers of the Devas go to the Devas. My devotees reach me alone. So if you contemplate and meditate upon Indra, the sun god, the moon god, the water god, the Ashwini Kumars, and the various deities, you will go to their abodes. But the one who contemplates and meditates upon the infinite being, which is formless and attributeless, then the Lord says, you will come to me. And how do you do that? It was told before, through Om. I am Om in the Vedas. And in this way, and the foolish people, the unintelligent people, the stupid people, they cannot recognize me because I am transcendental in nature and I am not available for all, as I am enshrouded by Yoga Maya. Until unless you are not prepared, you cannot come to know the Lord. Until unless your intellect has not unfolded itself, you cannot understand what E is equal to mc square is. I can go into any lecture in physics or chemistry, but if my intellect has not gone through the process of becoming of understanding it, it will be just garbage for me. If a person is living in this world is only about survival, where my next meal is going to come, you say, come, I tell you, there is abundance in life. Hey, get out. He'll give you a thrashing and throw you out of his house. Because he is into survival. No. I'll tell you what Newton said, that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. He'll give you again another thrashing and send you away. He is not available. A small child is not available to the studies of university. His intellect needs to blossom. And how does this intellectual blossoming take place? Not by your efforts. This blossoming comes when your intellect contemplates on the divine, then by the grace of the divine, this blossoming happens. And blossoming is equal to reduction of thoughts. Reduction of thoughts does not mean necessarily that there are zero thoughts in the mind. Reduction of thought means you or your mind is not reacting to the appearance or the disappearance of the thoughts. You are in an equanimous state. The more you remain, and you cannot create equanimity, it must happen. And it happens only when you are contemplating on the divine. Then the mind blossoms. In that blossoming, nowadays such young children are there with great intellects, great discoveries. On the YouTube I saw, in the TED talk this fellow has come, he is only, 13 years old, and he has studied already medicine. He is doing operations. And his goal is that God has given me this intelligence, I am going to use it to remove cancer. That is his goal of life. Because any equation, any book you talk, he has got everything in his mind at a tip of his fingers. Doesn't need to refer any damn thing. And here we read, we can't remember it. See? Having that knowledge is not equal to his intellect has blossomed, but about something in the world. True blossoming is when the intellect has blossomed so that it can surrender to the divine. That is true blossoming. No amount of knowledge of this world is ever going to make you peaceful. And in this way, the deluded world knows me not. Why they don't know me? Because I am unborn and I am immutable. I do not change. I am so near to everyone as their essence, yet so few come to realize me. I'm closer. The Lord is saying, I'm closer than the closest. The world is so far from you, and you think that world is so close, it will give me solace, it will give me peace, it will give me tranquility. And you keep running after it, and till today you have not been able to catch it. And I am so close, I am as you, functioning through as you, and you are not thinking about me in your heart as Om, as your own awareness. And in this way, so the Lord says here in the 28th verse that those men of virtuous actions whose sins have come to an end, they, freed from the delusion of the pairs of opposites, come to worship me with firm resolve. The reason we do not realize the truth or are able to contemplate on the truth is because we are caught up in the world of likes and dislikes or the pairs of opposite. Everything. If this water is given, if it is cold, I told you give me warm water all the time, why have you given me cold water? Immediately there is death. Because our attention, this whole world is a phenomena of opposites. And our attention is on these opposites. The Lord is saying, think of the one, don't think of the opposites. If you think of the opposites, you are creating a web and getting caught up in it. You think of the one, you will become free of the trap that the world is. So, what is the opposite? Birth and death are opposite. That I can do something in this life and achieve, that is opposite. You are not the doer, yet you are believing you are the doer.
Taking ownership.
And in this way, only those people, so one must continue putting efforts. What is the effort? Think of the divine, remember the divine, have a disposition towards the divine in and through all your activities. Whatever you do out there, or at the yoga level, or at the pranayam level, or at the emotional level, or at the thought level, or at the conviction level, don't take ownership. Offer it at the feet of the divine. Make him as the continuous thread in and through, and see his hand playing everywhere. The Lord is saying only such people with firm resolve can come to realize me. Taking refuge in me, those who strive for freedom and from old age and death, they come to know Brahman, the Supreme Self, the inner self, and all actions too. Very, very important thought. Taking refuge in me, those who strive for freedom. And freedom from what? Freedom from old age and death. They come to know Brahman. Not freedom from relatives, freedom from children, freedom from society. No. You want to conquer death while living. And that is possible when the thought of death is looming, because nobody knows when the death is going to come. And you know that possibility is there. Next moment it is possible. Just now someone told me 2 days ago, Swamiji, can you give me Swami Anubhavanji's number? I said, yes, I can. What happened? No, my sister's husband passed away. How old was he? This fellow said, he was same age as you are. So, my age. I said, oh my God, my age. Suddenly, a reminder, hey, don't waste your time in the world. Focus on the reality. You can pop off the next moment. Everything was going fine in his life. One moment to the next, heart attack and gone. No disease, no problem. From one moment to the next, 5 minutes later, and here we think we've got a long life ahead of us, we are going to do this, we are going to do that, we are going to achieve this, we are going to achieve that. No, we don't know how long we are going to live. When you catch this, that the death is looming any moment, then your urge to realize the divine will become intense. It will not be one day I will realize. Then it will become now or never. But with a cool mind. Not with stress. So, with that verse, the chapter concludes. It says, Sadhi bhutat dhidaivam mam sadhi yajñam cha ye viduhu prayana kale picha mam te vidur yukta chetasaha. And before, jara marana mokshaya mama shritya yatantiye te brahma tadvidu krutsnam adhyatmam karma chakhilam. Jara marana mokshaya. When you seek freedom from old age and death, because it is coming to everyone. Even if you feel you have been always healthy throughout your life, old age, death and disease is coming. When it will catch you, you don't know. Mokshaya mama shritya yatanti te brahma vidu. Only those who strive for the freedom from these old age, disease and death, only such people, because once you realize that it can come any moment. An intelligent person is he who does not want to wait for and experience disease, old age and death. He does the market research. Acha, everyone is going through that. It can come to me also anytime. Oh, this fellow has died at 53. I can also go away, pop off next moment. Let me utilize what I have at this moment. I don't know when I will go away. This is market research. This is intelligent person. So let me put all my energies to focus on the divine. Te Brahma Tad Vidu. Only those who do contemplate in this manner will come to know the reality, the Supreme Self. And that Supreme Self, that Brahman, who is infinite in his nature, is the Self of all. And with this, the 7th chapter concludes. This was the exposition of knowledge. And here, because the topic was told that Adhyatmam, and so now the student, that is Arjuna, he starts asking, what is this Adhyatmam, Adibhutam, and so the Lord will start the 8th chapter. When we come back in 12 days time, 2 weeks time, we will see an overview of the 8th chapter. And then we'll see the overview of the 9th chapter. And then we'll begin the 10th chapter. Helpful? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.